There it is. It's Thursday Night Football. That means the Showdown, Hoedown. You should know when you hear the banjo what time it is. What's up, new guy? I'm the Degenerate 75. I'm a high-limit DFS player who focuses only on two sports, golf and football. It's all the big guys got time for. If you can't tell, I got the schedule right here above my shoulder. If you like the cut of my jib, come check out my content. I'm consistent as fuck, and I'll always make this stuff. Don't forget, I'm actually going to be doing one we got a little 3-game Saturday slate for NFL this week, so I'll be putting out one tomorrow for that one, because if you don't know, I will stand by this till the day I die. A 3-game NFL slate is the nuts. I think it is the perfect amount of games to get different, to have a little game theory, but also not be overwhelmed by the amount of choices, so very pumped for that. Just like I preached at Thanksgiving, we will be attacking it hard when it comes to strategy. Check that out tomorrow if you want, even though it's not on the schedule. Without further ado, let's get going. Here we go. As we start, where we always start, because if you don't know, this is where you're dicking away your money. First of all, it's all about contest selection. If you're going to play in the $15 night, don't talk to me. Unless you're going to max enter it, then you're a fucking badass. And I like the cut of your jib. I still think that's a losing move long term, unless you're one of the very top pros, which you're probably not. So I wouldn't play in it. And I always have a lesson I try to teach when it comes to contest selection. And here's going to be your one tonight, okay? It is going to be the 20 max rule, okay? I always tell you guys, go play in contests that you can max enter, okay? And so here's what so many people do. They go play in this big $3 20 max. They're like, hey, I'll do $60 in lineups tonight. I'm comfortable entering $20, 20 lineups times $3, that's 60, right? And it's really nice. You see that top prize. You see that it has a good payout structure. Less than 10% of the money goes to first. 10th place is getting 10% of first. This is a really good structured tournament. But here's your lesson today. Look at the total numbers of entries in this, right? 138,000 people. That means even when you enter 20 lineups in this, you should only expect to win this once out of every 7,000 times. So you're going to have to enter this thing on average 7,000 times to ever expect to win it. So not a real high likelihood, right? But you're like, oh man, I could still get other places. I agree. It's still a good tournament. I'm just saying that so often we fall in love with what would I do if I won $30,000. So here's your lesson today. If you're one of those people that plays in that $3 20 max, just go check out this $4 20 max down here, right? It's way down here. Here it is. The $4 20 max, right? And in this one, first place is only $1,500 versus $30,000, right? But first of all, 10% goes to first, so still a good price structure. 10th place is 1/10 of first, so it checks all of our boxes. But here's the lesson I want you to learn. If you play 20 lineups in this, you should expect to win this once out of every 200 times, roughly, right? 220 times if you're a real math nerd, okay? And so last time I checked, 200, if you do this every few seasons, you would expect to win this every few seasons, whereas the 7,000, there's a very good chance your entire lifetime you'll never win. So here's what I'm trying to tell you, is quit always thinking like, oh, what if I won that 30,000? And maybe it'd just be like, hey, maybe we should go play in a tournament that I have a legit shot of winning, and you could actually expect to win this over a couple seasons of NFL, and $1,500 is going to have most of you dancing in the streets naked. So this just if you're ever wanting to try to win a GPP, maybe don't always go look at the ones that have over 100,000 people in them. Maybe go check out these ones that have less than 10,000, and then you start to have a real shot to win. So that's your lesson today. All the other rules still apply, but that's our one for today. Hey, don't forget to go hop in my contest right here, the Degenerate 75, completely free. Winner gets a free Millionaire Maker ticket that we'll build together. We'll split the profits. Second place gets a free month on my Discord. By the way, the YouTube channel just keeps growing. Keep giving me some follows and go like the video, you motherfather. It helps grow the channel because YouTube hates me. Tell them that they shouldn't hate me. All right, let's get to the game. Let's see. First of all, the game tonight is San Francisco versus Seattle. If you don't know that, well, fucking welcome to reality. We're 8 hours from kickoff, and you don't know that. A little concerning, but we'll work with it, all right? So what we got tonight is we have the 49ers in Seattle. We're going to start where we always start, by looking at the line. 43, a relatively average total game for the NFL. At least it's not one of these 38-point clunkers that we've been dealing with. 43 seems like a monster game compared to the shit we've been dealing with. And then we have a 3.5-point line, so a relatively competitive game, no 12-point favorite or anything, right? And we have the rare instance that the the home team is the underdog, right? The home team is the underdog, and Seattle's not exactly like a piece of shit team, so it's kind of surprising. And the real answer is very simple. People think the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl, right? They are convinced that Brock Purdy is the second coming of Jesus. Okay, maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but they have a great defense. Now they have Christian McCaffrey. Once they get Debo back, they do seem to be very talented and good in all the right spots. So because of that, we have an interesting game. As far as injuries go, the big one we're tracking, well, we're not tracking. We know for a fact Debo is out tonight. He'll probably be out the next 3 weeks. So that really opens up probably a lot of value for the 49ers. Over for Seattle, it does appear as though our boy Kenneth Walker III is back from injury, so we're really going to have to determine what we want to do with him. So we're here on Run the Sims. What we do is we have all our optimals in there. We're going to go run the Sims. Here are the results of the simulations, all right? Who is the most likely to show up in the optimals tonight? Christian McCaffrey shows up 81% of the time. You don't fucking say, okay? The guy has such an incredible workload, especially with Debo out. It just makes him more involved in the pass game. It means fewer of his rushes are getting pilfered. He's been finding the box. He's getting downfield passes. And let's just face it, Christian McCaffrey's a fucking badass. These are facts, right? So because of that, that means he's showing up in the optimals 81% of the time. Yet Run the Sims has him projected at 87% ownership. And we've seen this. We just saw this the other night with Ramondre Stevenson. When guys start getting to 90% ownership, sometimes you got to just ask yourself the question, is it worth it, right? I mean, there are game scripts in which Christian McCaffrey doesn't get there. Even game scripts where he doesn't get hurt, right? There's always, well, if he gets hurt, yeah, but I don't think that that's a smart play to factor that in. So what are some game scripts that like maybe Christian McCaffrey doesn't get there? Well, there could just be the one that the 49ers get behind, right? The 49ers get behind and they're not running the ball. Seattle decides to actually guard the running back out of the backfield, unlike other teams, and Christian McCaffrey just doesn't get there, right? And plus at 11,400, even if he gets 15, 16, 17 points, that's largely not going to justify an $11,400 price tag. You're probably going to need at least 20 points out of him to have him be in your optimal lineup. So there are paths to where he can have an average game, a slightly below average game, and doesn't break your lineup. So there are paths. Now, am I telling you to fake Christian McCaffrey? No, I'm not, Bob. No, I'm not. I'm just saying there are builds in which it exists. Okay, if you're gonna play Christian McCaffrey, just like I told you Monday with Ramondre Stevenson, it's not about fading him or playing him, right? It's about how can I play him and play him different than other people, right? Maybe one way to play him is you run 5 Seahawks and run it back with Christian McCaffrey, or maybe you run 4 Seahawks, Christian McCaffrey as a captain. These are going to be builds that you won't be playing 1v1s versus 5,000 people, right? It's not about using Christian McCaffrey or not, fading or not fading. It's about how to use him different than everybody else is using him. And those are some ways that you can use him. Because if you go do a 4-2 San Francisco build with Christian McCaffrey as the captain, just know, legit, 50% of the lineups in the damn contest are going to either be a 3v3 with McCaffrey at captain or a 4-2 McCaffrey, 4-2 49ers with McCaffrey at captain. So you're just basically building the same damn lineup as everybody else. And when you put an expensive McCaffrey at captain, it really starts to funnel you towards all the same plays that everybody else has, right? Because you're so restricted on what you can do with the rest of your lineup because you paid so much for captain. So that's the first question you got to ask yourself, what to do with Christian McCaffrey. I think the second most important question to ask tonight is, what the fuck do I do with the other running back, Kenneth Walker III? Kenneth Walker is a badass. Kenneth Walker is severely underpriced. And Kenneth Walker has got it done in almost every game script, right? But he's going to be highly owned. Do we play him? Do we not play him? I don't know. I don't know the answer, but here's what I'll tell you. I think that this is a guy you either shit or get off the pot with. You either commit to him or you get off. Get off of him completely. Don't get off. Okay, so when it comes to Kenneth Walker, he's coming back from injury. Is he going to be back to 100%, or is he going to be in a bit of a timeshare? Do they bring him back slowly? If you know the answer to that, well, it's very simple. If you think he's going to get his full allotment of touches, he'll be playing first, second, and even the occasional third down. He's a smash play at 7,600. Not only is he a smash play, he's probably a smash play at the captain spot also. But if you think that he is going to be probably brought back and brought in more slowly, and they're going to build him back up over the next few weeks, well, then at 7,600, if 53% of people are going to own him, he's almost an auto fade, right? If you think that he's only going to play maybe half the snaps in the game, it's really hard to justify that price, especially if you think the 49ers are going to get ahead. Kenneth Walker really starts to get game scripted out of this. So this could be a way that you could fade one guy and block out over half of the entire field just by making one play. I don't know what to do there. As you can see, Run the Sims has him as the worst leverage play on the slate. However, you got to remember, they're also factoring him in to only get 50% of the touches. So that's on you to determine what you think his role is going to be. If you think he's going to play a full allotment and you think that Seattle's going to be ahead, I think he's the best play on the slate, price adjusted, right? Okay, from there, it's all about the script, brother. What kind of script do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be a shootout game? Do you think it's going to be a defensive slog? whatever script you think. Maybe you think the 49ers blow them out. They suffocate them, 24-3 type game. Maybe you think the Seahawks. My favorite script is always playing a home underdog, right? And the Seahawks being at home, being an underdog, really would make me want to be warm to like 4-2 builds with Seahawks, right? Maybe a Geno, Lockett, Metcalf stack, and then go play some punt pieces, right? That would be a build that will be way different than what most people are doing because everybody is convinced the 49ers have a great defense and Geno sucks and blah, 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 blah. So that is a way that I can still get good plays in my lineup and play it in a way that is different than everybody else is playing, right? Maybe the build is I go run a 5-1 Seahawks and then I just pick I run a 4-2 Seahawks and I run it back, but I don't run it back with McCaffrey. Not McCaffrey. I know. I'm just putting some ideas out there. From there, you can see that a lot of the most highly leveraged players tonight are cheap guys because if you don't know, the 49ers and the Seahawks have pretty concentrated offenses, and because of that, it's very clear who's going to touch the ball most of the time, so those guys get priced up. So because of that, people are naturally going to have to pay down at some positions. You can't just play every fucking stud. There's this thing called a salary cap, and so because of that, it's going to be very clear where the chalk is going to pool on the cheap guys, right? First of all, everybody is probably going to be playing one of these kickers or one of these defenses, right? San Francisco's defense at 5,000 is just too cheap. They're going to be very, very popular. Both the kickers are normal price. They're 4,000, but people are going to need that free square, that pay down price. But I think where most of the chalk is going to pool is going to be in the Debo vacuum. When you have Debo Samuel out, people just think that, oh, he's out, so this receiver comes in. So Juwan Jennings and Ray McCloud are going to be very, very popular tonight. So what I would tell you about that is be careful. Buyer beware. Everybody always thinks that when this guy's out, this guy comes in and everything. Rondale Moore's out. Greg Dortch comes in. So, you know, like that's how it works. But just know, it doesn't always work that way, brother. It doesn't always work that way. And so you got to be careful playing these low-end chalk guys, right? I mean, Ray McCloud is showing up at 44% right now. That's insane. I get that you need that pump price at 1,200. But, like, if I could tell you that you could block out half the field and you just need Ray McCloud to just be Ray McCloud, that's a pretty good option, okay? Now, there's also a path that Ray McCloud could actually be a pretty good captain tonight, right? Like, there is a path that, like, if he's going to be on the field a lot and he's going to be getting the ball a lot, well, then at 1,200, he becomes a very viable captain with so many great pay-up options from both teams. But to me, Ray, you know, anytime I can fade a guy like Cedric Wilson Jr., anytime I can fade a guy like that's the low-end punt wide receiver option, I just do it almost every time, and it tends to work out. From there, there's not a lot of great punt options. As you can see, none of these guys are really showing up in the optimals, these cheap guys, very much. You know, Seattle punt tight ends are always an option, but Noah Fant has been running almost all the routes for them. So, you know, I guess you could go Will Dissly. He seems to, you know, be the one guy that gets a touchdown that breaks the slate every so often. There's just, you're going to have to get creative with how to build your lineups. Travis Homer, to me, is very interesting. 7,000 is a disgusting overprice. Nobody is going to want to play him. But because of that, I think that actually makes him viable, especially if you think Kenneth Walker is going to be limited tonight. From there, I don't have any great punts for you, right? I'll be researching some more, doing it for my Discord tonight. I will tell you this. We will be doing a stream on the Discord, and we will be answering these tough questions because it is not obvious who to play as a punt. You know, obviously the easy answer is the San Francisco wide receiver, but if I've learned anything, just fade those punt wide receivers, and it's been working out very well the last couple weeks. Who was it? It was Cedric Wilson, and then there was one the other night. I can't even remember who it was. Was it somebody for the Patriots? Was it Tyquan? It doesn't matter. Anyways, hang around for just a minute, okay? I'm going to tell you who's the one guy that I'm definitely not going to play tonight. Hey, come check out my Discord. It's always growing. We're doing a year-long special for next year, but it ends Sunday. Hey, go give me a follow on Twitter. We're getting close to 4,000, you motherfather. I appreciate you. So here's my final thought. The one guy that I will definitely not be playing tonight is Ray McCloud. And it's simple. Not because I don't think Ray was not a good play, not because he's not a great adjusted value, but anytime that I can fade a guy who is not a proven asset at basically 50% ownership, I'm always going to take that. If he scores a touchdown in the first quarter, well, I'll just turn off my fucking TV and quit watching the game, won't I? But if he does what we've seen these other wide receivers do these past couple slates, be the free square guy that then gets 2.9 points, he ain't going to be in the optimal lineup. I don't care that he's $1,400. So anytime I can fade that, I will. Just remember, just because Debo's out does not mean that Ray McCloud becomes Debo Samuel. That is the lesson to remember today, okay? Good luck to you tonight, motherfathers. I hope you kick some ass. If you do, share it with me on Twitter. I will see you tomorrow when we break down the 3-game NFL slate. Good luck tonight. I hope you enjoy my outro.